Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. We are the first lady of sports talk, the one and only Cheryl Smith. Goddess Kelli, the Diva of sports debate, and CJ, keeping it real out of Chi-Town. Hey, hey, hey. And you are listening again to Bras, Panties, and Sports. Now, check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from NELI. Where they find their shining star or get that cold feel of the mute button. Now it's time for Funny Ladies. Let's get our giggle on. And I think we got, let's see who we got. We got Marina Franklin. And, don't, confuse her with Aretha. Don't confuse her with Aretha. This Marina, not Aretha. Some of y'all sitting up there go, I ain't never seen Aretha Franklin crack no joke, but she did crack a mean joke on Quincy Jones back on one of those, episodes back in the day. But it more was like a commentary on his wives and divorces, since he was cracking on her wives, on her husbands and boys. But y'all wanted to hear Marina Franklin. Roll it.
I try to mind my business in New York anyway, because New York is the mind your business capital of the world. It really is. You don't want to get involved, because you get in trouble. Like I said, I saw this woman one time yelling at this child on the street really bad, and I said something, and I shouldn't have. Like I said, I would love to have kids, but I see some of the mothers that have kids, and they look like they have lost their minds. So it makes your clock tick and stop. This is going to be the child, because I don't have one. Unless you want to get up here. I didn't forget about you. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, she was just yelling at this child. She was like, get your ass over here. I said, get your black ass over here. Get it over here. Now what the hell you crying for? Shut it up. I said, shut it up. I'll pop you in your mouth. Stop calling me mom. I looked at her. I was like, oh, my God, you don't talk to a child like that. She looked at me. She was like, what the hell you looking at, huh? You won't raise my child? No. You're doing a great job. I was scared. I ran. I'm a good runner. I ran 3 long Harlem blocks. I was like, don't look back, just keep going. But you can't help it. You want to see what's going on. I looked back for just a second. She was still standing there looking at me.
All right. If you only got the audio version of the show today, I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to tune in. You're going to have to get the video version. Go to YouTube. We got it on YouTube. Go to the Facebook, because it was kind of funny. All right. Now, now we have some. Before we move on, I just have to comment on something that happened to me, ladies. I was surprised, blown away by this. And now, some of y'all may not know, but I happen to be of African heritage, and otherwise known as a black man. And I ain't ashamed to say it. I'm a good-looking black man too. I got a shaved head and stuff. Oh well, okay, and I smell good too. But the thing that got me, now there's been some situations where black men and police, black man ended up dead. Shot, wounded. Bad stuff kind of happened to them. Now that don't happen every day, every moment, every time the popo speak to a black man, he and I'm dead. That ain't happening. Okay, but it do be happening. All right. Now, I'm in Houston, Texas, and sometimes you go out in the morning to take a jog, or you feel like, look, I'm gonna go walk to the grocery store to get some exercise, and it be feeling nice and comfortable, but you don't realize that humidity done slipped in, and that 80 is 95. And I go over to the grocery store, ladies, and I say, hey, I'm going to get a little exercise. Let me walk on over here, do this little walk on over here to the grocery store and, grab, some cheese, some little snack stuff, Now, mistakenly, I didn't realize every time you go in the grocery store, you buy more than you meant to buy. I did not realize that dynamic. So I bought more. Now, I remember I walked over there, so I bought more, and now I got a carry boat. So I'm walking back, and, it's a nice day and everything. And, ladies, the po-po stopped me.
No.
They stopped me.
Did they give you a ride?
I'm walking down here. I got the back. They stopped me. And, I'm looking, I'm like, what's up? What's up? And, I don't know if I should go in the hands up. Hey, look, hey, don't shoot the hands up now. Hey, whatever. I'm just trying to get back here. So I say, this bologna sandwich, so I get back to work. And the officer said, sir, you look like you're struggling. Can I give you a ride?
That's
and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, hell yeah, you can give me a ride. And he said, well, where you need to go? I said, well, hey, if you take me to X, I'm fine. He said, look, I'm going to take you where you want to go. I said, really? So I said, take me to home, jeez. I felt like the governor. And, I felt like the governor, yeah, thank you, sir. And when he dropped me off, that's just how I acted. I want to thank you and for your service, and, have a good day. My neighbor's sitting up there going, dang, what's up with that? So I just want to thank the officers and the police of Webster, Texas, for being so generous and putting some service in that serve and protect. And by the way, and don't be messing up with the black folks now. Okay, don't be unnecessarily shooting black men. Don't do that. But I will say this. Listen, folks, I'm glad y'all dealing with them because I sure don't. All right. Now, First Lady, we are ready. What you say?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle. Let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the Chicago Cubs wish they could fly far away from being defeated and not defending their championship. The Cubs didn't have a horrible season, but since they lost, the team has decided to clean house and let several coaches fly far, far away. Hitting coach, pitching coach, and the third base coach are all gone flying. Is it the coaching staff that failed them, or injuries and the pressure of trying to repeat? Carissa Thompson, Aaron Andrews, Mary Carrillo, and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Now, Theo Epstein, if you are going to fire Chris Bosio, who's the pitching coach, John Malley, the hitting coach, and Gary Jones, third base coach, then normally you need to fire the manager, Joe Madden. But let's give Joe a pass because he didn't hire these coaches. They all were incumbent coaches when Joe was hired in 2014. So I think Joe saw an opportunity to bring in his own staff for key coaching positions. I mean, let's face it, he decided that they were going to be the scapegoat, these coaches. And Joe said, I want to bring in my own staff. So he had an opportunity because Chili Davis and Brian Butterfield, they were let go from the Boston Red Sox because, you know, they got rid of their coach. So Chili Davis is going to be the new hitting coach. Brian Butterfield will be the third base coach, and he's bringing in Jim Hickey, who will be the new pitching coach because Jim worked with Joe Madden while they were while he was the manager at the Tampa Bay Rays. So, hey, what can you say? This is his opportunity. You know, they're going to put somebody as the scapegoat. And the thing is, the Cubs lost not because of these coaches. They lost because the Dodgers were just a better team. The Cubs struggled throughout the season. They became hot during the second part of the season. You know, but last year, if you remember, the Cubs were the best team from the beginning to the end. They were destined to win that the championship because they were the best team. And let's face it, this is not the NBA. So teams in the major leagues, they don't repeat. So it was very difficult from the beginning for the Cubs to repeat. I mean, they did get to the National League finals, so they did get to that point. But to think that they can repeat, it's been 17 years since a baseball team has repeated. The last team to repeat, of course, were those Yankee teams. That was a dynasty. That was a team that they had Joe Torre, and they repeated. They won from 1998 to 2000. So as far as I'm concerned, Joe Madden, you're putting pressure on yourself because you got your people that you want behind you and with you. So you better make sure that you at least get to the NCLS or better for next year. So I don't know. That's a lot of pressure when you're going to blame all these coaches as the scapegoat. Goddess Kelly, what do you think about this situation with blaming the coaches?
I mean, honestly, I think you pretty much covered my opinion on it, so I'm going to keep it short. But when it comes to a team, once they win a championship or a World Series, it doesn't really matter what sport, whatever the championship is, there becomes certain expectations that they need to live up to. And the fans have gotten that taste of championship, and when they fail to do it another time, no matter how statistically improbable it is, no matter what history is on the side of, you know, the fact that they're not going to make the repeat, the fans still have that expectation. Ownership still has that expectation. So when it fails, somebody needs to be scapegoated in order to appease the fans and the owners. And that's what happened here. They needed to find people to place the blame on that they didn't make it to the championship game, and that's what happened. So, I mean, going forward, now that they have lost this year, there's not going to be quite as high of an expectation for next season, but we see it all the time in sports when a team fails to make it to the same level of achievement that they did the year prior, that they start getting rid of a lot of the lower down level coaches because they need somebody to blame it on. And I think that's what happened here. And that's all I really got to say on it.
All right, Goddess Kelly. All right, CJ, we just got to go to the hometown people to find out what's going on in Chicago. What's going on in Chi-Town, CJ?
What if they just weren't doing their jobs? Anybody ever thought about that little aspect of it all? You know, that they were able to do it before. Why weren't they able to do it again? Maybe they weren't putting in the hours that they needed to put in to actually be able to be the coaching and the hitting coach. Maybe they weren't doing their jobs. That's all I'm saying. Because if you noticed, like I said in the beginning, they might start out slow because they didn't want to ruin all that pressure and, you know, use all their energy up. But they knew they had the team. Statistically, they still had the team. They could have done it if some other folks may have put a few more combinations together that they didn't put together. And maybe the manager is like you said, if I have my own folks here, maybe they'll see the intuitiveness to change instead of just sticking to something because it worked 20, 30 years ago. And when they get that together, you're going to see another Cubs championship, or at least they're going to get into their finals because they're a great team and they have the talent. They just didn't do it this time.
All right, CJ, you got to hit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose all the time.
You know, I was looking at the situation. I was looking at the situation, and there's an old rule in any sport. It's easier to fire the coach than the team. You know, it's like less people now that because getting rid of the coaches is a message to the team. You know, like, hey, you know, we got to have it, and you see what we did to these coaches. Now we'll start doing some trades and deals because you know we done got hey we done got a taste of the peach cobbler and we want more. Now the big thing is that the manager, yes, I won with you guys. I got to the big game and we won big. And the realities is that we have to be adaptable to keep it moving, to go to the next level. And that may require me doing some fine tuning. And part of that fine tuning is the players, and part of it is the coaches. So if I can get a hitting coach who got a little more something, a pitching coach that got a little more something, and a third base coach that can bring in a little something, might be just the edge I need. Because I do want to say something about expectations. See, the Johnny-come-latelys, when folks is winning and they jump on the bandwagon, see, then they expect it to continue and continue and continue. But see, those Cub fans who've been watching the Cubs break their hearts for 100-something years, they still basking in last year. They still like, look, you Johnny come late. It took 100 years. We still kind of in the, man, shoot, they'll get their acts together. But see, them Johnny come latelys, you know, they all about the now, the moment. I got to feel it. You know, it's like, you ever go on a first date with a guy and you might have liked the guy. You might have thought, man, this is a great guy, but he just kind of came on like, dang, bro, like, we got to hurry up. And it was like, look, we ain't even shook hands good, so maybe it's an X. See, that's a Johnny come lately. Back to you, First Lady.
Okay, all right. Anyway, I'm going to send it over to Goddess Kelli on this one. Hopefully the Cubs will do better next year.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest. That'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Ugh. Mama said, knock you out. Ugh. We are not talking about Hannah Storm, Michelle Tafoya, or Leslie Visser. We are talking about the assertion that Money Mayweather did not knock out Conor McGregor to set up another payday. Jim Lampley, longtime HBO boxing analyst, has planted the seeds. Mayweather gave away the early rounds to McGregor so they could have a rematch, and he gets to make even more money off the rabid MMA world. Would Money Mayweather throw rounds to make future money? Should McGregor complain he won fair and square? Are we looking at a rematch? Rebecca Lowe, Rachel Nichols, Susie Colbert are asking, what you saying? And you know what I'm saying? I think people like a conspiracy. And when it comes to... I mean, seriously, think about it. With all these people talking about the JFK documents being released and people disappointed that we don't get all of it, people are still clinging to their conspiracies. That is just human nature. We all love a story and we love a conspiracy. And I think in this case, that's what's happening. I think people are trying to find a way to get a rematch because it's what they want. This was one of the most anticipated matches in boxing and MMA history. I mean, I think this one almost outstripped when Money Mayweather took on Manny Pacquiao in terms of anticipation. Nobody thought it was going to happen, and then it finally happened, and we saw this match. Early on, Money Mayweather was kind of feeling McGregor out, letting him, kind of get his feet wet a little bit. People said maybe he was throwing it, but personally, I think he was just trying to get into Conor McGregor's head with those early rounds. I think that he was letting Conor McGregor kind of like get a little confident. I think he was pool sharking him pretty much. And then once he got the feel of McGregor's style in the boxing ring, you have to remember this is the first time that Conor McGregor had ever boxed, so Money Mayweather did not know what he was up against. So he was feeling him out, getting an idea of what his style was, and then he completely exploited it. He took what he learned in those first few rounds and used it to get Conor McGregor on the verge of a knockout. It was a technical knockout, but I think if it hadn't been called in favor of Money Mayweather, I think it would have become a real knockout. You could see that Conor McGregor was fading fast, and he just couldn't keep up with what Money was throwing at him. And I think at this point they have proven everything there is to prove, and anybody that's saying that they were trying to throw it, that it wasn't really a knockout, they're just doing that because they want to see a rematch, and I don't think that these guys have anything left to prove. Money Mayweather, he's of the age where he doesn't need to prove anything. At his age, he can just enjoy this mountain of money that he has and is still continuing to make with the Team Money Mayweather brand. And Conor McGregor is young, and he can go find somebody else to pick on. I mean, he made more money in that one fight than he's made throughout his entire career. So there's no reason for a rematch. It would be fun. I'd probably spend the money and buy it again just because I love these big name matches, but I don't think it's going to happen. What do you think, First Lady?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. All I know is the fight was better than most people thought it would be, and the fans got their money's worth. It appears that Mayweather was taking it easy in the early rounds. His explanation was that he wanted to tire out McGregor because he's an MMA fighter and he's never gone beyond 5 rounds before. I mean, if you remember, Ali did it in the rope-a-dope against George Foreman. He knocked him out in the 8th round. So Mayweather, he did his own version of what Ali did. I would be more inclined to believe Lampley if there were a rematch clause in the contracts, but there wasn't a clause. They didn't have a clause that says that there was going to be a rematch. The question is, could Mayweather be the orchestrator of deception to rein in the MMA fans to think that McGregor had a chance? Yeah, of course. He could have done it. I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think he did it. I just think it was Mayweather's strategy. And more importantly, I don't think Mayweather trained hard for the fight. And everybody says he didn't train hard for this fight. As a matter of fact, if you remember, he spent the night at the strip club the night before the fight. So he really wasn't concerned about Conor McGregor, seriously. He really wasn't concerned about him. So I just think that with his age, not training hard for the fight, and, his strategy, that's why McGregor looked good in the first couple of rounds. But, hey, we know what happened at the end. When he really put his heart into it, he knocked him out. Mayweather doesn't hit hard. So, I mean, he got to McGregor, and like I said, it was an exciting fight.
All right, CJ, what did you think about it?
I didn't pay to watch that mess. I'm still waiting for it to come on HBO. With my pay.
Girl, it's been on HBO. Where have you been? It's already been on TV.
See what I'm saying? That's how much it meant to me. I saw the highlights. That was good enough. Yes, Mayweather was going to win. He knew he was going to win. McGregor knew he was going to win. The best part about it is that McGregor wants to juice it for all he can. He's like, I'm going to be the great white hope, and you're going to pay me some more money to get beat some more. I see the racket. Keep hitting on me. I don't mind. I can open up my mouth as big as I can. Just keep hitting me, because every time you hit me, I see 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 more. Keep going. Just keep hitting me.
One correction, CJ. That's 1 million, 2 million.
See what I'm saying?
Wrong digit.
That's 10 million. It don't start with no thousands.
After you finish paying everybody off, that's about how much he's going to see. If he sees that.
Now you go for
That's the IRS.
That's what I'm saying, First Lady. You're not going to see too much. They're going to take him for all he's worth.
Spitface, what did you think?
Well, now one thing, Jim Lampley, has been around a while, and I think that he's trying to instigate another fight. I think he's just trying to instigate another fight. As the First Lady pointed out, Ali had different strategies for different boxers. Some boxers, he would go into the ring and he would, kind of dance around and jab, dance around. And, he might do that 2-3 rounds and the guy be, just tiring himself out chasing. And then he start whopping. That is a strategy. You could say, hey, well, he gave those rounds away. You ain't in the ring getting hit. Because I don't care who, when they matched up, that hit Hoyt. I don't care who is the recipient of the hit. It Hoyt. Now, maybe in that moment that, because they've been trained, that's what they do. How they say, they don't even feel it, they don't even think it, but just shoot. That hit is there. Your body, no, you got hit. So, so there are no love taps in the ring. But I think that this is Jim Lampley wanting to instigate a rematch. But I'm wondering if he on Money Mayweather's staff, getting some behind-the-scene money and stuff. Because Mayweather been working for some strange reason. He's been putting out little videos, him working out. Like, wait, you ain't getting ready to fight nobody, is you? That's all I'm saying.
All right, on that note, CJ, take us to our first break.
The first 2 listeners to email us or send a shout-out why Leslie Visser stands above other female sport reporters will receive a $25 gift card from our partners at NFLshop.com and Victoria's Secret. Here's the hint. Gold jacket. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from our guest, NELI, on the first part of Shoutout.
Free Mr. Vaughn.
Get him money.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout-out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from NELI.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. And today we are featuring the music from NELI. All right, and we're not talking about you-know-who, Nelly, the one who just got her, well, who was arrested. Anyway, let's move on. All right, DJ, let's hear Take Care.
Take care, my girl. You deserve a better future. Goodbye, my soul. If you go left, I'll take the right, so there's no doubt. So before I change We must now give us this fight. Love is wrong, but that's alright. Why can't things go blind up and not girl? Life goes on, who wants to blame? I'm gonna go a different way. Take care of girl. We hope the stars move on with life, and all the dead we leave behind. Keep only happy memories. Together rest, let it be. Release the pain of crying pain. We left and lost, but that's okay. Have no regrets, we build again. When next to love, do again. When to love, be alright. Try to face it for this night. Try your best tomorrow, down the sunny day. All will be okay. I wanna go my chosen way. Keep safe, my girl. We must now give up this fight. Let it go, that's alright. Why can't things go find love and then my girl? Life goes on, no one to blame. I'm gonna go a different way. Take care, my girl. Take you did nothing like to say, like to play. Time has come to pick somebody else, my girl. It was never meant to be. We had no future for you and me. I love you so goodbye, my girl. It was never meant to be. We had no future, I can see. Life goes on and on, not for you and me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Nelly on Our Love. Let's go to the panel. Goddess Kelly, what did you think about that song?
I mean, I thought that track had like some major identity issues. Like it needs to go away on a private vacation and try and like find itself, maybe like get its groove back. I don't know. I didn't like it. Like it started out, the instrumental was kind of like trancey, and then when her voice first kicked in, it kind of had like a trancey feel to it, and then like it lost that, and it was kind of like lame salsa music, like subdued Latino style music, and I didn't really care for that transition there. And then there was like kind of like a rock guitar beat going on there. It was just a mess for me. I'm muting that. I didn't like it.
All right. It seemed like it was all over the page. All right. DJ, what did you think about Nelly, Our Love?
Can I give it a yo? It's
Oh,
just more
hey, that's
Well,
better than
it
what Goddess
managed
Kelly
to
did.
yo.
Give it a yo. That's encouraging.
you know, it had its moments. It just needed a little, a little rap to it, maybe, in between a little.
Oh, not another ingredient.
Yes, it needed something more.
Something
for the
more, okay. And Spitface, what did you think about it?
You know, I'm gonna give it a yo because there were parts that had me, kind of got me into it. But I'm with with Goddess Kelly that it was too much, and the beginning was like strange. So, but I'm gonna give it a yo for some encouragement.
Okay, well, I'm not giving it a yo for any encouragement. I'm with Goddess Kelly. I just thought the song was horrible. I'm muting it because it kind of put me to sleep, so I don't know. That's why I had that little delay at the beginning when I was going to come out of the song. It just didn't inspire me. I didn't like her voice. I didn't think there was any quality to her voice. So anyway, hopefully they'll do better on the next track. Well, we'll see how they do next time, okay? So is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flipper? I mean, flip it, not Flipper. Flipper is our friend.
They call him Flipper, Flipper, faster than lightning. No one you see is smarter than he. And we know Flipper lives in a world full of wonder, lying there under the sea.
All right, it's time for Flip It, where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. KC Masterpiece, the Kansas City Chiefs have finally lost a game. So we ask, are they contenders or pretenders? Panel defend. They are pretenders. They start hot and lose the big game. Same old, same old. Goddess Kelly.
Well, as an Eagles fan, I am very familiar with the coaching style of Andy Reid, and he's doing the same thing in Kansas City that he did when he was in Philly. He starts out hot, but when it counts, when it's on the line, he can't close those big games. The man has zero sense of clock management. He doesn't know how to utilize a run game. He's doing the same crap that we hated him for in Philly. He's going to make it to the playoffs. I mean, bet on that. He's going to get to the playoffs. But when it comes down to it, he can't close. So no coffee for Andy Reid because coffee is for closers, pretenders.
Oh, man, my man got to settle for some hot cocoa. CJ, they are pretenders. The fan. CJ, I think CJ's technology. It looks like we might. Come on, get CJ's sound. Go. There she is. Go, CJ. Defend. They are pretenders.
They are pretenders, just like they are about saying that they have the best barbecue in the world.
She done threw the bone down.
Sweet. But then when you get down to trying to bite onto it, you got to have a dog in a fight to just get it off the bone. They're good for the beginning. They'll try to be there, and hopefully they're going to be pretenders again and say next year.
All right. She did go there to the barbecue. All right, okay, First Lady, defend.
The Chiefs are pretenders because every single year since Alex Smith has been their quarterback, he'll get you to the playoffs, but he cannot get you to the Super Bowl. The one time that Smith had a great playoff game was in 2013, and that's when they were up 38-10 to the Colts, and we all know what happened. They lost 45-44. They finally won a wild card game in 2015, but lost the AFC divisional games in 2015 and 2016. So are we supposed to believe that the Chiefs will win a divisional playoff game this season? No. The Chiefs are superior. That means superior during the regular season, but they are extremely inferior during the playoffs. I'm sorry. They are pretenders.
All right. You know that this is Flip It, where we flip the script and defend the opposing view, so we're going to flip it. They are contenders. One loss against a division foe does not a pretender make. God is Kelly to be.
Well, I mean, look at the AFC. Well, don't even look at the AFC. Look at the entire NFL right now. The only team that only has one loss is my Philadelphia Eagles. Every other team out there has at least 2 losses. The Patriots do, the Steelers do. All these teams in the AFC that we consider the perennial contenders are not having the kind of season that we expected them to going into the start of the year. Same thing, the Oakland Raiders, who a lot of people thought were going to be favorites going into it. And Kansas City is competing just as well, if not better, than a lot of these teams that were favorites to come out of the AFC for the Super Bowl. Andy Reid is a very accomplished and experienced head coach. His team is playing with a level of talent that we have never seen from Kansas City before. Their quarterback, man, nobody thought that he had this in him. They are just running away with it through the air, on the ground. They're doing everything right. Their defense is proving to be legit. They are proving that they can contend in the AFC and get their way to a Super Bowl. The Patriots, they're not the team that we've seen before. Tom Brady is starting to falter. He lost a lot of weapons this season due to injury. Same thing with Oakland. Who knows what's going on over there? Derek Carr and his teammates seem to have a very big lack of gel. They're not coming together the way that they did last season. Same thing with the Steelers. We've seen a lot of problems there. Ben Roethlisberger doesn't look like the same kind of quarterback that we've seen previously. There was the stuff with Martavis Bryant, the stuff with Antonio Brown. There's frustrations there, and when it comes down to getting to the big game, frustrations are a problem, and they're not going to be able to pull it off. Well, Kansas City is quietly having one of the best seasons of their franchise in recent history. So I think they're definitely contenders, especially coming out of an AFC that is the weaker of the football conferences.
All right, you heard the defense from the goddess. But CJ got another take on them ribs. Defend, they are contenders.
They are contenders. Their ribs might be tough, but that sauce is just so sweet and good. And they are making a masterpiece this year. You can bet on that one. It's going to be a victory beyond victories. Their dreams are going to be better than ever. They are playing cool. They're playing smart. And they're trying to get the job done. Not too many teams can say that they're winning like they are. As we say, the Philadelphia Eagles are in there. They're up there. Yes, they are this time, goddess. I'm so proud of them. And the Bears, they're coming back good. So why not have Kansas City in there? They are definitely going to be some competition. And it's going to be great to see. So I just say make sure you got those charcoals just medium hot. Don't get them real hot. Because it's going to be a slam dunk, finger-licking good season.
All right. Make me want to go get some Limbs barbecue right now. And First Lady, defend.
So the Chiefs lost a close game against their rivals, the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders needed to gain more than the Chiefs. So regardless of that game, this year will be the year that the Chiefs will be the main team in the playoffs. And the reason why is because Alex Smith has been playing out of his mind. He has been more than the game manager. He has been throwing deep passes to his wide receivers. He has 15 touchdowns so far in the week 7, and he only had 15 touchdowns the entire 2016 season. So that tells you where the Chiefs are. The Chiefs always had a strong defense. So now that their offense is clicking, and particularly Alex Smith is doing real well, do you know he's ranked the 6th quarterback with a QBR of 67.2? I mean, let's face it, with Alex Smith finally playing like an explosive quarterback, the Chiefs will be contenders during the playoff. They are not going to falter like they did in the previous years. This team is for real.
All right. right, we heard the defense, and it kind of, Alex Smith kind of make you wonder how, if he had how it would have been if he had Andy Reid as his coach as a rookie. Because he is starting to look like, that quarterback up in Green Bay that got picked lower than him. So, hey, there's a time and season for everything. But, CJ, the time and season right now is for you to take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Flipper, you done got my snakeskin shoes wet again. I done told you about that.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Goddess Kelly, over to you.
I think we have something interesting for the panel and our listeners. Customer trapped in beer cooler overnight cited for drinking. A man who found himself locked overnight inside a Wisconsin store's beer cooler was cited for theft when he helped himself to some beverages. Police say Jeremy Van Ert, 38 years old, told officers he was shopping at the Quick Trip store Tuesday night in Marshfield and ended up trapped in the store's cooler when employees locked it for the night at 11:50 p.m. A Quick Trip manager said a customer told employees about 5:50 a.m. Wednesday that there appeared to be a man locked in the cooler, and he left the store in a hurry when employees opened the door. The manager said the man had an 18-ounce bottle of Ice House beer and 3 cans of malt beverage Four Loko while locked in the cooler and had knocked over a stack of boxes, destroying 3 cans of beer. The man was cited for retail theft for not paying for the beverages when he left the store. Police said Van Ert was arrested on a probation hold from an unrelated case. Police said the conditions of Van Ert's probation banned him from consuming alcohol. You know what? If I get trapped in a beer cooler overnight, I can't blame the guy. You know what? Maybe I wouldn't have been able to handle that many Four Loko. I can usually only handle 1 Four Loko. That's kind of my limit. And when Locos are involved, 4 is yes. But I mean,
You know what?
they should be happy that he's not suing them for emotional damages being locked in a beer cooler overnight.
And so you say he need a better lawyer. But, one thing, I'm listening to this, and I'm imagining, I'm going to, The Walking Dead. I'm trapped in a cooler. What will I do? Oh, move the stuff that's in front of the, like if you go into a store, they got the beverages and the beer and the, milk and all that, and you pull the little door open, right? Now, around it, they got the door where the people come and put all the stuff so that they can stock it in the front. You can actually remove, a couple of things of beer and actually push the front of it open. So I don't get it was locked in. But, hey, back to you.
I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I think the guy was justified. That's the least the management could do is give him some Four Loko for his trouble. But you know what? I think the water is splashing, so it must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It is time once again for Flip It.
It's time, yes. The Los Angeles Rams have been kicking butt, and we wonder, with a 5-2 record, are they contenders or pretenders? All right, panel, let's defend. We are talking about the LA Rams. They will come down to earth, pretenders. Goddess Kelly.
You know what? The LA Rams have an amazing offensive record for points scored, but they also gave up 39 points to the San Francisco 49ers, the worst team in the league. So their defense needs some work. And you know what? When it comes to them, who have they really played? We're talking about the Rams. They have got one of the easiest schedules this year compared to anyone else. Eventually, they're going to have to go up against some real teams, and then they will be knocked back down to earth. So definitely pretenders. They're looking good. But you know what? They're looking like the tallest of the midgets. When they start going up against a team that is actually a juggernaut, we're going to see them fall back down the way to where they belong.
Okay, you got them as midgets. All right. All right. CJ, the LA Rams, are they contenders or pretenders? You have them as pretenders. Defend. Calling CJ. All right. CJ, well, she definitely has them as pretenders,
there
she's not saying anything.
There she go. We got the technology back a working. CJ, defend the Rams.
Yes,
Pretenders.
the Rams are pretenders. They are. Unfortunately, they're just living up to their little names. You know how they put them on a mountain and just push them off? They're just waiting to be screwed over. Right now, they're looking good because they haven't played anybody. They always look good about this time. Check them out in 2 weeks. It's going to be the same story. Somebody's going to get hurt, and somebody's little feelings are going to be all washed up. And then you'll see the real LA Lambs come out. I mean, did I say lambs? I meant Rams.
Okay. All right. Spitface, defend. The LA Rams will come down to earth. They are pretenders.
You know what? They got a hot quarterback. They got a hot running game. And the first half of the season, they done caught everybody off guard. And things about to get tough, as they say. Things is about to get tough. And what happens is that when you blow up like they did, defenses aren't prepared. And because this team and the way they playing and the defensive coordinators haven't made the adjustment. But see, when the second half of the season come, everybody got tape on everybody. And where you was surprising folks, now there's an expectation of what you gonna do. And now we're gonna defend against it. And the quarterback is hot, running back is hot. Them holes in the defense will be exposed. They'll make the playoffs, but they pretenders.
All right. You said they're going to make the playoffs, but they're pretenders. All right. Well, anyway, I'm saying that the Rams have outperformed themselves, but this young team will fall down to earth faster than a meteorite. You hear me? Faster than a meteorite, because Jared Goff is young and wet behind his ears, and he's going to waver. You know, as it gets tough during the crunch time, and that's the second part of the season, this young quarterback, he's not going to play his best. And as Spitface says, they got tape. And when they get that tape out, they're going to know where he's throwing, know his strong points, and he's just not going to do well. And I don't even think the Rams are going to make it to the playoffs, to be honest with you, because they're going to falter, and they're going to falter fast, and they're going to go nowhere fast. And they are definitely pretenders. But this is where we flip the script and we defend the other side. As Bill Parcells said, you are who your record says you are. 5 real wins, 2 real losses. They are contenders.
First lady, I gotta jump in on this one. I got to jump in because, you know, I just want to make sure that people understand that this ain't fabricated wins. These are not fabricated wins. These are real. We got the tape of them winning those games. 5 real. This is not fabricated. And as Bill Parcells said, you are who your record says you are. 5-2, you are a winner. You are a contender. That's what the record says. That's what you is. And they are not playing high school teams. They are playing other NFL teams who have people who are on their teams who are NFL caliber players, because you don't get to play in the NFL unless you're an NFL caliber player. And we all know the difference between being a winning team and being a losing team. It can be so slight. Like they say, it's a game of inches. And it can play out, but the talent across the league, it ain't no all other teams got bad. No. You know, it can be coaching. It can be a lot of things. And at 5-2, and these boys young, they're hungry. Remember what Dallas did with their young quarterback and running back before they got the big head and, or what couldn't keep his hands off women's breastises. They was jamming last year. Now, this year, but I go L.A., y'all got something going on. Now, next year, because they will know you and they'll expect you, it might be a different role. But you hitting it. You're hitting it. Contenders.
Okay.
Not fabricated. Not fabricated.
Not fabricated. Okay, all right. I hear what you're saying. Bill Parcells says that you are who your record are. All right, CJ, defend. They are contenders.
They are contenders. They are going to show that just because you're young doesn't mean that you can't get out there and do the darn thing. They will be very, 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 very much into this so-called playoff seasons. And don't be surprised if they won't come up to be maybe the other team. They only need a few more hits and tugs here and there. And if they can watch the tapes, so can they. The Rams are going to be watching their tapes, and they're going to see exactly how to beat them because they know what they've done already. They can't come up with any new surprises, but they might have a surprise for them because those little horns, they're going to be pushing, and it's not going to be just to a lamb. It's going to be a good ram.
All right, CJ. All right, Goddess Kelly. They're contenders. They got a real record, 5-2.
Well, you know what? They do have a real record, 5-2 right now. The only team that's better than that is my Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, I'm going to milk that for absolutely all it's worth. I'm going to keep mentioning it every chance I get. But when it comes to the LA Rams, I think the NFL just hasn't been prepared for them whatsoever. We talk about them having this young team. We've got Jared Goff in his second season. Nobody really got much of a read on him because he didn't play a whole lot last season, and he is proving why he was the #1 draft pick. He is definitely playing some lights-out football. You've got Todd Gurley in his third year, proving why he was one of the best running backs out of his draft class. You got Sammy Watkins, 24 years old, and just balling out as wide receiver. And people are talking about how young this team is, but none of us have mentioned the fact that they have got the youngest head coach in the history of the NFL, Sean McVay, 30 years old. 30 years old. And the head man in charge of coaching for the LA Rams. He's bringing something that the rest of these teams aren't prepared for. When you're young, you've got an energy and a passion for the game, whether you're a player or whether you're the head coach. And people just aren't prepared for that, and they are contending. They're in a division that is a little bit easier. They have to go against the 49ers twice. The Cardinals, of course, have fallen apart. The Seahawks, still a formidable opponent, but they're not playing as well as they have in previous seasons, so they're going to be a little easier than normal. And I think that the Rams are proving that if you play with heart and you take chances, you can be a contender in the NFL, no matter how young your players and your head coach are. So good for them. They're contenders.
Well, Goddess Kelly, I'm going to take it a little step further than that. The Rams are showing us that coaching makes a big difference. And the Rams were horrible all those years under Jeff Fisher. This is the same team that Fisher coached the year before. Sure, Goff has 1 year of experience, but he didn't look like this under Jeff Fisher. The Rams coaching staff deserves all the credit in the world. This team is a true contender because Jeff Fisher is not coaching and Sean McVay is the coach. That's why they're contenders. All right. Well, it's time for some jambalaya. Over to you, Goddess Kelly.
All right. We got a special mix of jambalaya today. Here is the quote. Your family tree must be a cactus because everybody on it is a prick. So, panel, how does this quote relate to the Ndamukong Suh choking a Ravens player? And you know what I say? When it comes to Suh, the formidable King Kong Ndamukong Suh, once you are labeled a dirty player, you are always a dirty player. And as amazing and what a physical specimen he is, best defensive player ever to come out of college football, and oh my gosh, he's just amazing to watch. But anyway, he's got that reputation for being dirty. He has those dirty hits all the time, and that's the way he is continuing to play, choking out a player on the Ravens. And then especially when Kiko Alonso had that knockout hit on Joe Flacco, the Dolphins have become a bully team, and that's how they're getting stuff done. They're just being pricks. So what do you expect for a team where their offensive line coach was busted for snorting cocaine? That's just how it is. The cactus and the family tree, we're talking about that being the Dolphins organization, and they're a bunch of pricks, but that's why people love them. And let's not forget their head prick in Jay Cutler right now. So CJ, I know you got a lot of opinion on Jay Cutler, but let's hear what you got to say about Ndamukong Suh.
This Ndamukong Suh, they playing like they're in high school somewhere. What did they do? Somebody got a new girlfriend or something and they still want the other one? I mean, poking eyes, pulling, choking. I mean, on the field, really? Are these grown men or are these young boys? Now, you said you brought cocaine into the issue. Maybe that's it. The brains are just all messed up, and they can't figure it out. But people's lives are at stake here. And this Ndamukong Suh, they said they might give him a penalty. They might not give him a penalty. Hey, if you keep choking people around here, folks are going to get hurt. And it's not going to be on the field. It's going to be off the field. And then when that happens, you know it's not pretty. It's just going to be really messy. So,
First Lady, go ahead.
No, that's all I wanted to say.
First Lady, what you got to throw in the pot on this one?
Well, being that I'm from Miami and I see a lot of the Miami Dolphins, you know, actually, in Ndamukong Suh, he's actually been rather pedestrian this whole season until he choked that Ravens player. Because I forgot he was on the darn team because he's been so quiet and very ordinary about the team. They haven't really been doing too much on defense. But yeah, the Dolphins been having some issues with the family members. You like you said, Goddess Kelly, they had problems with the coach snorting cocaine, seeing prostitutes. I mean, you know, Landry, he's been complaining about Jarvis Landry's been complaining that he's not making enough money. He wants more money. I mean, what's going on with the family? The family, they're definitely acting like pricks. And Ndamukong Suh, he's been like that his entire NFL career. What hasn't he done? He stepped on somebody's hand. I think it was, didn't he step on the quarterback
Rodgers, wasn't it?
Aaron Rodgers. He stepped on Aaron Rodgers' hand. Thank you. They needed that one. I forgot that. But he stepped on his hand. He got into fights. I mean, this man has always been a salty person. So, I mean, I'm going to go beyond the Dolphin family. It must start in his own family. Something's going on there. I don't know what's going on with Ndamukong Suh. And he's really a very smart, brilliant individual, too. He hangs out with people who are in Wall Street. So that's the type of man he is. But when he's on the field, he's the exact opposite. I don't know. Them Dolphins, I don't know what's going on with their entire family.
Well, let's get the opinion from...
You know, the thing I look at Ndamukong Suh is that I go, I wish I could hear his name being called for all the great plays that he did. Because I'm starting to go, and Ndamukong Suh got big money off of a reputation, and he is not, you know how they have franchise quarterbacks and franchise defensive players? I don't get that he's a franchise defensive player. J.J. Watt, injury and all, 2 seasons, is still a franchise defensive player. And Ndamukong Suh has never, ever lived up to the hype. Other than some dirty play, semi-dirty play, on the dingy play, kind of smudgy play. You know, great plays, great this and that, and the excuses I hear for his performance because of his position, well, they don't get the sacks. Like, come on, pretender.
Well, you know what? Spitface gets the last word because with this quote, he is an expert when it comes to pricks. So on that note, CJ, take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from NELI on Shout Out. Please stay tuned. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out, Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Goddess Kelli?
All right, we have another performance from NELI. So DJs, let's hear our love.
So what? People can be blind, they just fall in love, always lose their minds. And so what? If we join the game, would you dare to stay? Do you care to play? And so what? If we can be free, we can play a scene, feel like royalty. But so what? If it gives us wings, we explore our hearts and unlock our dreams. And so what? So what? There is no paper on the banner that we don't stick together sometimes. Let them talk, let them speak, doesn't matter, they fools. Only know that in love you can never have rules. So what? People can be blind, they just fall in love, always lose their mind. And so what? If we join the game, would you dare to stay? And so what? If we can be free, we can play a scene, feel like royalty. But so what? If it gives us wings, we explore our hearts and unlock our dreams. And so what? So what? Hey, oh, hey, oh. Why some pressure about from my friends? They're insisting that made me someday. Oh, let them talk, let them speak, doesn't matter, they're fools. But they know that in love you can never have rules. So what? People can be blind, they just fall in love, always lose their mind. And so what? If we join the game, would you dare to stay? Do you care to play? And so what? If we can be free, we can play a scene, feel like royalty. But so what? If we give us wings, we explore our hearts and unlock our dreams. And so what? So what? Oh. Let them talk, let them speak, doesn't
Some more?
Is it over?
No.
Let them talk, let them see, doesn't matter, they're cool. Don't they know that in love you can never have room? So what? People can be blind, they just fall in love, always lose their mind. And so what? If we join the game, would you dare to stay? Do you dare to play? And so what? So
All right, so that was Our Love. Is the track getting a shout out or the mute button? All right, this is a complete mute button for me. The actual song itself, the writing of the instrumental and the lyrics were better, so it just showcased how bad her voice actually is. Nelly, sweetheart, I hope you have a backup plan because that was sad. That sounded like bad bar karaoke that's going to make me go, come on, double shot, please, drown this out. Honey, go back to school or don't quit your day job. Yeah, no good. Oh, CJ, what'd you think?
Well, she needs a little coaching. First of all, that record would have been fine if it had been maybe let's say, a key and a sharp and a flat down lower. She might have sounded a little bit better. That changes the whole song, I know, but it would at least given it a little rhythm to it. She's got to do better. She has a voice. Anybody has a voice in the studio. That's what she can have one. She's not alone with anybody else. It's just she needs some more practice. I'm going to give her a yo for her intelligence of trying to make up a song. Just do it a little lower in your key, honey. Find that diaphragm. You'll be on it.
First Lady, what'd you think?
Well, I don't know about her voice. Everybody doesn't have a voice, because I know darn well I don't have a voice, even if I was in the studio. But anyway, I don't think Nelly can sing, but I'm going to give the track a yo just because the song and the music on the track was good. But her voice, nah. I agree with you, Goddess Kelly. She needs not to quit her day job.
All right,
What'd you think?
Don't quit the day job. All right, I'm listening to it, and I don't know if it's her voice or who's ever doing the producer, doing the arranging and writing. And so I don't know. To me, it sounds like too much technical got involved and trying to, there's what you can sing, and then there's what, you can sing it, but you don't sound good doing it. It's like, hey, there's some folks, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston could sing a country song and make it sound like it had soul. But that was Whitney Houston. She could do that. See, that's a lot. You gotta have a lot of talent to do that. But that's why country singers say, I don't mess around with blues. I don't try to sing rock. Because they go, I got a country voice. So I think the voice for the music, they tried to do some stuff. So I'm gonna have to hit the mute.
All right. Well, that is the end of Shout Out. If you liked what you heard from Nelly, you can check her out at nellybrown.net. It's NELI brown.net. And if you would like to be heard or have any comments, you can send your emails and tracks to Panties at oldgrumpyradio.com. But now it is over to the First Lady for the picks.
Yes, it's time for the picks. Will the First Lady, and that's me, keep my crown from last year's NFL season, or will a new champion rise? All right, let's go to the results from 2 weeks ago. All right, CJ, you led the way with 90,000 points. I came in second with 65,000 points. Spitface, you had 12,000 points. And Goddess Kelly, you keep going in the negative. You had a negative 69,000 points. So our grand total so far, it's a tight race up until this point. I have 157,000 points. CJ is right on my tail with 150,000 points. Spitface has 14,000 points, and Goddess Kelly, you're going the opposite way with a negative 279,000 points. But we all know stranger things can happen. So let's get to this week's picks, the games. Falcons versus the Jets. 1,000 for the correct answer, minus 1,000 for the incorrect answer. And I'll start it off, and I am going to say I think the Falcons are back, and the Jets had such a disappointing loss last week to the Dolphins. I'm taking the Falcons. CJ, who do you have?
I'm taking the Jets.
Oh, you're taking the Jets. All right.
Yeah.
Goddess Kelly. Okay. Goddess Kelly, who do you have?
Well, first of all, I want to say when we started playing this game, Spitface told me that it was like golf, that lowest score wins. I'm just under par. That's what I am.
Nice try. All right, Goddess Kelly.
All right, well, on this one, I'm going to go with CJ and take the Jets.
Oh, all these Jets. All right, Spitface.
I'm tempted to go with the Jets because they're the home team, and the Falcons, there's just something. I think that losing their offensive coordinator, there's just something that's just off with the team overall. And but I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I'm gonna go ahead and go with them boys. I'm gonna roll with them.
You're gonna roll with the Dirty Birds. All right. The Panthers versus the Bucks. 1,000 for the correct answer, minus 1,000 for the incorrect answer. CJ, who do you have?
The Bucks.
You got the Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a tough one. This is a real tough one because Cam Newton's been acting rather strange. He was doing well. Oh, I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I believe in Cam. Goddess Kelly, who do you have?
The buck stops here for Cam Newton. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm tempted. I was tempted to go with the Bucks, but then I remembered that Jameis Winston could have overthrew Castro, so I'm going to go with the Panthers.
All right, I'll just move right along. The Chargers versus the Patriots. 1,000 for a win and a negative 1,000 for a defeat. All right, Goddess Kelly, who do you have?
I hate betting on Tom Brady, so for that reason, I'm going to say the Chargers.
Okay, you got the Chargers against the Patriots at New England. All right, I have the Patriots. Spitface, who do you have?
It's hard to go against Tom Terrific and the Brady Bunch, but something is going on with the Patriots. And even though they, every win, they only had a couple of losses anyway. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to roll the dice.
You're going to roll the dice. All right. CJ.
I'm going to roll the dice, too. And I'm going to go with that Brady character, not the Patriots.
CJ, you're not rolling the dice too much because that's the favorite. So. Hey, but CJ, that's why you and I are leading right now. But anyway, let's move on. We don't roll the dice that often. Okay, the Raiders versus the Bills. 1,000 for the correct answer, minus 1,000 for the incorrect answer. All right, Spitface, who do you have? Raiders versus those Bills.
The Raiders had a great comeback, but I kind of think Carr is still hurting a little bit, and I'm going to go with the Bills.
Okay, you can go with the Bills. All right. Goddess Kelly, who you going with?
Derek Carr and Amari Cooper gave me a decisive fantasy win last week, so I am going to go double or nothing on those Raiders.
All right. CJ, I know they did. CJ, who do you think is going to win, the Raiders or the Bills?
The Raiders or the Bills? I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going with the Bills. I mean, the Bills, you talk about Bill Parcells for their real record. Well, they are definitely who you are, and they are winning. The Bills are on fire, and I think they are definitely for real. So I'm going with the Bills. Let's move along. The Colts versus the Bengals. 1,000 for the correct answer, minus 1,000 for the incorrect answer. All right. Let me see. Goddess Kelly, who do you have, the Colts or the Bengals?
I mean, this is like the who really gives a crap bowl. But I'm going to go with the Bengals just because I visited both cities, and Cincinnati is just a gorgeous city, so we'll take the Bengals.
Okay, going on location. All right, I'm going to go with the Bengals too because, every time we say it's always a must ring for Marvin Lewis. So I think this is a must win for him. So I'm taking the Bengals. CJ.
Yeah, I'll go along with you guys. I like those Polish boys too. Bengals all the way.
Spitface, who do you have?
The Colts are just not very good.
Neither are the Bengals.
And the Colts are not very good because it's coaching and personnel. The Bengals, they're not all that good, but some, and with a lot of them is the coaching regime, but they got some players. They got some players on the Bengals, so they can pull out a home win against a really bad coach team. Bengals.
All right. Well, probably one of the good games of the week, the Steelers versus the Lions. And I'm going to start it off with, I'm going to take the Steelers. Goddess Kelly, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers. I think Big Ben, it's time for him to get his act together, and I think this is a game where he's going to do it.
Okay. Spitface?
The Steelers have won, 2 in a row. The Lions have lost, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
The Lions really need this game. I'm going to say the Lions going to pull it out in a close one.
In a close one. The Lions are going to roar. CJ, who do you have?
I'm going with the Steelers.
Okay. Going with the steel curtain. All right, let's get to some hosh-posh. Who will score more touchdowns, Kirk Cousins or Matthew Stafford? 10,000 for the correct answer, minus 15,000 for the incorrect answer. CJ, I want to start off with you. Who will score more touchdowns?
It's Cousins. We're going to do that cousin thing. Cousins.
The cousin? Oh, the cousins? Okay, you're going to do that cousin thing. All right. CJ's going with the Cousins. Goddess Kelly, who you going with?
I'm going to take Matt Stafford.
You're going to take Matt Stafford. Okay. I'm going to take Cousins. I'm not sure who they're playing. Oh, no, I think they're playing the Cowboys, right? They playing the Cowboys. So I'm going to take Cousins. And Goddess Kelly says she's going with Stafford. Spitface, who are you going with?
Yeah, I tend to I'm like I almost want to flip a coin on this one because I'm looking at Cousins could light it up against Dallas, okay, and then Pittsburgh's secondary just still is susceptible, and they could easily get into a high scoring game. And Matt Stafford could, have to throw a lot, make a lot of scores. So, but I'm going to flip my coin, and I'm going to go with Stafford.
All right, you go with Stafford. Okay, who will have more passing yards, Drew Brees or Big Ben? All right, Spitface, I'll start off with you. Who will have more passing yards?
Drew Brees, because they ain't got no running game. Drew Brees, because New Orleans ain't got no running game.
That's true about that. All right. Goddess Kelly, who do you have?
Yeah, Big Ben loves to ring that Le'Veon Bell, so I got to go with Drew Brees, 100%.
CJ?
I'm going with Big Ben. He's going to ring all y'all bells in a minute.
I know I'm a little bit tossed because I'm trying to remember who Saints are playing, but I don't know right now. So I'm going to go with Breeze because they always throw the football. That is true. They always throw. All right, so we got 2 it, Goddess Kelly. This is your chance to get back right into this game. Look at these scores and these. Oh my gosh, these points. First option: Texans or Seahawks. 350,000 for the right answer, minus 100,000 for the incorrect answer. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Goddess Kelly. I'm getting excited for you because you can get right back into the contest.
I am taking this option 100%, and I am going with the Seahawks. I think after that stunt by the Texans owner and what he said, I think that team is going to throw this game just to prove a point. So the Seahawks.
All right, Goddess Kelly, you did. I wasn't even thinking about that. All right, CJ, you taking the option?
Yes, I am. And I'm with Goddess Kelly with the Seahawks.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Spitface, you taking the option?
I am passing on the option.
You passing on the option. I don't know. Let me see. I am going to take the option 2. And I'm going to go with these girls. So I think we have something. We know about intuition and all that. We know about people putting a stance. So I'm going to say yes. I agree with you, Goddess Kelly. I wasn't even thinking about that. I just thought the Seahawks were playing well, but I did forget about what that owner said. So, yes, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. All right, I'll take the option. Okay, the second option is the Cowboys versus the Washington team. Ooh, almost a slip there. 350,000 for the correct answer, minus 150,000 for the incorrect answer. I am going to pass on this option. This is a pick'em, so I'm not taking it. Spitface.
I am passing on the option.
Okay. CJ.
I want to upset with those Washington people winning. Oh, yes.
You got Washington.
I got Washington.
Okay. Goddess Kelly.
All right, because CJ took the Washington football team, I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys. As much as I hate to say that, and I feel really dirty, and as soon as we finish the show, I'm going to go take a shower after that. But
remember, you do not have to take the option.
That's right. You can pass.
When you're the only one in the negative, you got to take the option. So.
You could. All right, but you could hope the fact that the first option comes through for you. But anyway, got to take some strategy. So anyway, you're going to take the Cowboys. Okay, Goddess Kelly's will take the Cowboy. All right. It's getting interesting. As we always say, the producers always make it quite interesting. So we'll see how we do next week. It's time for our panel to give their outrageous predictions for this week. And I'm going to start it off. My outrageous prediction is Goddess Kelly will be the NFL champ. That's my outrageous prediction.
All right.
Goddess Kelly, give me your outrageous predictions.
Well, that was pretty outrageous, First Lady. I got to give you that. All right, my outrageous prediction, I'm going to go back to what I was saying about the Texans. I'm going to say that we're going to see a protest, the level of which we have not seen yet in the NFL. I think they're going to take it to a new level on Sunday, and I am going to be proud as hell of them.
That's right. If everybody forgot, the owner of the Texans says we can't allow the inmates to run the prison. All right. The inmates to run the prison. Okay, so CJ, what is your outrageous prediction?
My outrageous prediction is that Trump will put on a football uniform and let somebody tackle him.
Trump wish he could have a team. That's what Trump wants. That's why he's always on the NFL, because they blackballed him. Anyway, Spitface, what is your outrageous prediction?
Outrageous prediction is that the Dodgers will not win another game.
Oh,
I know they didn't look well yesterday.
Y'all sound like y'all like that one.
No, I'm rooting for the Dodgers, but they didn't look good at all yesterday. All right.
Yeah, I'm going. The Dodgers will not win another game, and the Astros will, of course, win the World Series.
Okay. We have a quote from one of the most brilliant persons from a women's perspective, Miss Oprah Winfrey. She once said, you can either see yourself as a wave in the ocean or you can see yourself as the ocean. And I know Oprah sees herself as the ocean. All right. Goddess Kelli, please tell our listeners how they can check you out on your other broadcasts.
Well, you can check me out on The Red Zone with Kelli and Rashawn. We are live every Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m. You can listen to us live at blogtalkradio.com/momentumshift, and you can check us out all the time on demand on our sponsor website, goingfor2.com/momentumshift. That's goingfor2.com. We bring it every week. We bring sexy back to sports. So if you like a little bit of sexy sports talk, some politics, and some pop culture, head on over and check us out.
Okay, we'll definitely make sure we check you out. And CJ, how can people check you out on Facebook and Sabor?
Yes, please just go to Facebook at Sabor, Saboire, and you can check out where we're always advertising great things for products and services to make you have a better life.
Okay. Well, fans, you can check me out at Twitter at Cheryl Smith at First Lady Sports. And please enjoy the poetic performance at the end of the show. This has been Cheryl Smith, CJ, Goddess Kelli, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports.
I'm deadly with my words, killing audiences with each line that I spit, killing your preconceived notions about what you thought poetry should be, making you think, pausing your distractions and playing to both the left and right side of your brain, conscientious with my topics, making you think outside of the box, outside of what you normally hear. You'll never hear me spit on sex, drugs, or how much of a hustler I am. The only thing I hustle is this poetry spit, putting in work, slinging these conscientious words all over the place. I've been saying, Chris, this is the best quality spit I've ever heard. Begging, aiming for more. I have you saying encore. Encore. And I really don't mean to sound conceited. The verses I spit, God tells me that's what's needed. Even when I pleaded, saying, God, I don't know about doing this piece for this audience. I don't know how they'll receive it. God says, this is the audience who needs it. So I heeded, proceeded, and in the end, succeeded. See, I'm slowly bearing the source of my own so-called creativity and digging up and excavating God's validity, not afraid to let God speak through me, because although it's me your eyes see, I only say the words from him to me, and I spit to you. I write exactly what he tells me to and do what he tells me to do. Therefore, each piece you hear me do is true. Blessing the mic every time I step to a stage, creating lyrical outrage, feeling the audience is fully engaged. Confident with each piece I do, it's appropriate for any age. Never will you catch me getting X-rated. Getting X-rated is overrated and most times unrelated to the topic that's being stated. I'd rather hit you with the spit that God created and I restated and watch you become elated, sedated by God's words that I translated and you related to. Cutting through to you with a different point of view, changing up this poetry game and have you rethinking everything you thought you knew, knocking you out with my meticulous follow through, and have you saying your presence in this game is well overdue, but never failing to give God all the due, because had it not been for him removing my timidity, I would have never been able to push through. So God, to you I say, thank you. My name is Chris, and this is my debut.